The sun does not rise gently here. It tears across the horizon, pulling back the curtain of night to reveal a stage, vast, open, and without refuge. This is the African Savanna, and on this stage, every actor is permanently in the spotlight. There is no room for hesitation, only trials and struggles. Every creature writes its own epic of survival. And in this harsh dance, only the strong prevail. The winds have changed. The river is dwindling where the lost herds are wallowing. Now is the chance for a new beginning. The concentration of the herds gives the buffalo an advantage. The dust and chaos have defeated them. If they do not make a kill, their new beginning will be their end. On the African savanna, there are encounters that define the very essence of wildlife. Among them, none is as majestic as the battle between the lion and the buffalo. On one side, the most iconic predator of the continent, a ruthless strategist who reigns at the top of the food chain. On the other, a colossal herbivore, possessing a devastating power capable of turning hunters into prey in a matter of seconds. It is a duel between cunning and endurance, between coordination and brutality. A clash that has echoed for thousands of years under the scorching African Sunday. The lion, par excellence, is a master of group organization. Unlike other solitary big cats, It bets on the unity of the pride to face colossal adversaries. The lionesses, agile and disciplined, take the lead, gliding through the shadows of the tall grass like golden phantoms. Their fixed, silent gaze reveals the concentration of those who carry the fate of the pride. Every step is calculated, every approach a dance of precision. The objective is clear: to take down a Cape buffalo, an opponent that can weigh over 2,000 pounds, protected by dense muscles and curved horns. But attacking a buffalo is not like hunting a zebra or a gazelle. It is a risk that can be paid dearly. When the lions reveal themselves, the savannah transforms into a battlefield. The heavy thud of the buffalo's hooves shakes the ground. The herd, far from dispersing, reacts like a trained army. They surround the young, line up, and lower their heads in unison, turning into living walls. A single counterattack can change everything. The charge of a buffalo is so fierce that it can launch an adult lion into the air. The African savanna is known for its herbivorous giants, but it is the predators that shape the true balance of this ecosystem. Over millennia, they have become specialized hunters, honed by natural selection to dominate this extreme environment. The lion is the embodiment of majesty and collective power. Unlike other solitary cats, it lives and hunts in cohesive prides. This social behavior makes it a formidable strategist capable of confronting colossal prey such as zebras, wildebeest, and even buffalo. The lionesses are the main hunters, coordinating silent attacks, approaching in a crescent, and selecting their target with precision. The attack is not just physical, it is also psychological. The isolated prey is overwhelmed by the weight of unity. The leopard is the master of camouflage. With its coat of black rosettes, it disappears in the shadows of the trees or among the grass. Unlike the lion, It does not rely on the support of a group. It trusts in its patience and individual strength. Silent, it approaches until the last moment and attacks with a lightning-fast explosion. Its trademark is the ability to drag prey 3 times its own weight to the high treetops, safe from competitors. The cheetah, on the other hand, bets everything on speed. It is the fastest land animal on the planet, capable of going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. Its body is made for running. Light muscles, a flexible spine, large lungs. But this specialization has a price. The cheetah cannot maintain this speed for long. After a few seconds of pursuit, its body collapses from exhaustion. The spotted hyena, often seen as an opportunist, is one of the most effective hunters on the savannah. Its bite is one of the most powerful among carnivorous mammals, capable of crushing thick bones. In addition, it is a highly social animal. It lives in organized clans that can exceed 80 individuals. Unlike the scavenger stereotype, the hyena is responsible for the vast majority of its own kills. They cooperate in groups, surrounding their prey and exhausting it. We have come to know its call as a sound of cowardice, the laugh of a scavenger content with leftovers. But this is perhaps the savannah's greatest deception. Watch them hunt. There is no hesitation here, only relentless, coordinated power. They are not opportunists, they are architects of the chase. The lion may wear the crown, but often it is the hyena who truly rules the night. Studies show that over 70% of a hyena's diet comes from its own kills. With incredible stamina and intelligent pack tactics, they regularly take down large prey and are even the ones who often steal meals from lions, not the other way around. Their laughter is not a sign of cowardice, but the call of a misunderstood hunter. Nature teaches that reputation is not always reality. Sometimes, those who are considered the lowliest possess the most respectable strength and intelligence. It reminds us to look beyond stereotypes, to see the true nature of all things. These four predators are proof that there is not just one way to hunt or survive on the savannah. Each one, in its own way, occupies an essential space in maintaining the balance. If the predators dominate the stage with their majesty, it is the herbivores that are the true foundation of the African savanna. They are the silent engineers of this ecosystem, shaping the landscape with every step and ensuring that the wheel of life continues to turn. Millions of wildebeest, zebras, gazelles and oryxes cross the plains each year, cutting invisible paths in the vegetation. These paths, opened over generations, not only connect crucial water points and pastures, but also directly influence the circulation of smaller animals. Where the herbivores pass, the grass does not grow excessively, maintaining a balance between open areas and denser sections. In addition, the role of the herbivores goes beyond the amount of grass they consume. Their dung fertilizes the soil, returning nutrients that feed new plants. Each species performs a distinct function. The zebra, for example, consumes the taller, more fibrous grasses, clearing the way for the wildebeest to take advantage of the lower vegetation. Shortly after, the gazelles feed on the most tender shoots, closing a perfect cycle of use. This system of food rotation prevents the vegetation from being destroyed and ensures the continuous renewal of the soil. But being a herbivore does not just mean grazing peacefully. To survive in a territory where predators are always lurking, they have developed acute senses and impressive collective behaviors. The whole herd organizes itself into defensive formations, keeping the young in the center while the adults watch over the perimeter. On the savannah, herbivores are not just prey. They are the invisible pillars that nourish the earth, maintaining biodiversity. Few natural phenomena are as impressive as the great migration of the African savanna. It is a spectacle of epic proportions where millions of wildebeest, accompanied by zebras and gazelles, embark on a journey of almost 2,000 miles. The migration is not just a displacement, it is the beating heart of the savannah, an eternal cycle that determines the life of countless species. It all begins in the Serengeti when the dry season arrives and turns the rich green into a dusty yellow carpet. The grass no longer provides sustenance, and the waterholes evaporate under the relentless heat. It is at this moment that the collective instinct awakens. Gradually, the herds form as if in response to an invisible call. The march is a grueling test of endurance. Under the scorching sun, the animals walk for miles without rest. The young are born in the middle of the journey and must learn to walk in minutes, because the march does not wait. The exhausted bodies follow in a block, like an endless wave of life moving towards the unknown. But the migration is not just a crossing of arid landscapes. It is also an immersion into the territory of danger. The Mara River is the greatest challenge. Its murky waters hide Nile crocodiles, true giants that await the right moment to attack. When the first heads of the wildebeest plunge into the current, chaos erupts. Thousands of bodies push against each other. Many are swept away by the current, and many others fall to the sharp jaws that emerge from the river. Even upon reaching the other side, the challenge is not over. Lions and cheetahs await the exhausted herds. However, unity is the greatest weapon of this journey. The wildebeest move in mass, turning individual vulnerability into a collective wall. The zebras mix into the herds, contributing with their acute senses to detect predators and taking advantage of the numerical protection of the herd. This epic movement does not just feed the travelers themselves. With every mile traveled, the fertility of the soil is renewed by the dung and the remains. The predators and scavengers thrive with the hunts that the march inevitably brings. The migration, in essence, is an invisible thread that weaves the entire ecological network of the savannah. As tragic as it may be, it never stops. Year after year, generation after generation, the wildebeest follow the same path again. For many, it is a death sentence. For others, the opportunity to survive. But for the savannah, it is the guarantee of continuity. On the African savanna, herbivores are not just passive victims. Faced with powerful predators, each species has developed over millennia a repertoire of skills and natural weapons. If on the one hand, the instinct to flee is common to all, on the other, each one has a unique way of facing danger. The Thompson's gazelle is one of the most impressive examples of adaptation. Small and slender, it can reach speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. But the secret of its survival lies not only in its speed, Its zigzag running style disorients even the fastest hunters. A cheetah may reach a higher speed, but it loses energy trying to keep up. In addition, when cornered, it can use its curved, sharp horns, 10 to 15 inches long, to attack its enemies. The zebra bets on more than one strategy. When fleeing, it can reach 40 miles per hour, but what really makes it dangerous are its kicks. Their hind legs are true biological weapons. A single kick can break the bones or even kill a predator. The zebra has also developed sophisticated collective defenses. When they perceive danger, the adults gather in a circle, placing the young in the center. In addition, their stripes, besides confusing the vision of predators in the middle of the herd, help to regulate temperature and even repel insects. The zebra's stripes, a visual puzzle. For a long time, it was believed they served to confuse lions in a large herd. But the real enemy these stripes are aimed at is much smaller, the blood-sucking fly. The latest research shows that the black and white stripes create an optical illusion that disorients the navigation of tsetse flies and horseflies as they prepare to land. This armor is not against a pounce, but against thousands of disease-carrying bites. Sometimes, the most complex defense mechanism is not against the biggest enemy, but against the smallest, most persistent annoyances. It shows that nature always has sophisticated solutions for problems we do not even see. The giraffe, the tallest creature on Earth, has legs that are as long as they are lethal. At almost 6 feet long, they are capable of delivering kicks that reach 2,000 pounds of force. In a single kick, it can seriously injure or kill a lion. Unlike many other herbivores, the giraffe does not panic in the face of danger. It remains calm, chooses the right moment, and launches its attack with surgical precision. Its height is also a strategic advantage. Its eyes, located more than 16 feet above the ground, allow it to detect predators from miles away. The warthog, despite its clumsy appearance, is a master of reaction. With fast reflexes, it can reach 30 miles per hour in short sprints, escaping from almost impossible ambushes. But its most fearsome weapon is its curved, razor-sharp tusks. When cornered, it does not flee blindly. It remains calm, waits for an opening, and attacks with fury. The oryx, also known as the scimitar-horned oryx, probably carries the most impressive weapons among the herbivores. Its long, straight horns can be over 3 feet long. They look like swords forged for the battlefield. When attacked, the oryx faces its enemy, turning its head with force to deliver blows that can pierce even the thick skin of a lion. The wildebeest, the central figure of the Great Migration, is a symbol of resilience and collective strength. An adult can weigh up to 600 pounds and possesses curved horns that act as natural scythes. When attacked, it does not immediately retreat. It plants its feet on the ground and charges with devastating headbutts. The wildebeest also trusts in the power of the herd. Together, they form walls of bodies that protect the young and disorient the predators. The Cape buffalo, finally, is the giant that makes even the most daring hunters tremble. At almost 2,000 pounds and with horns as hard as steel, it is capable of turning any hunting attempt into a nightmare. When provoked, it does not retreat. It advances. Its charges can break ribs and send predators flying. Furthermore, the buffalo act together, forming solid barriers to protect the young. On the African savanna, each herbivore carries a unique arsenal. Some rely on legs that launch like arrows, others on horns that act as spears. The defensive strategies not only ensure individual survival, but also shape the relationship between hunter and hunted. On the African savanna, where the horizon is vast and life is almost always exposed, surviving requires more than strength or speed. Many species have found their greatest weapon in camouflage and evasion. Strangers in a strange land. Life will not get any easier. Ayumi has led them here. There is nothing more she can do. unless the whole pride gets behind her. Together they will be unstoppable. No more childish chases. Through the dust. Turn chaos into your strength. Coordinate and conquer. Ayumi's daughter has risen to the challenge. A young queen is in the making. The impala is one of the great masters of camouflage. Its tawny coat blends perfectly with the dry grass in the dry season and with the lush vegetation in the rainy season. When danger approaches, it can remain motionless for minutes, becoming a part of the landscape. If discovered, they rely on spectacular leaps that can be up to 30 feet long, disorienting the hunters and breaking the rhythm of the chase. The Thompson's gazelle also exploits the power of invisibility. Its pale color blends with the golden plains, making it difficult to distinguish from a distance. But when the camouflage is not enough, its evasion skill, the famous zigzag at high speed, comes into play. The secret of the gazelle is not to be faster, but to be unpredictable. The zebra, on the other hand, has turned its own body into a visual puzzle. Its black and white stripes, which may seem striking to the human eye, create confusion in the middle of the herd. Predators like lions and hyenas have difficulty distinguishing an individual from the group, especially in collective runs. This visual effect is known as disruptive camouflage. The prey does not disappear, but it confuses the perception of its enemy. Movement itself is part of the art of evasion. Many herbivores avoid running in a straight line, as that facilitates the predator's calculation. Instead, they jump, change direction, and create chaotic trajectories. On the savannah, camouflage is not just hiding, it is using the environment as an ally. It is deceiving the enemy's gaze and gaining precious seconds in an unequal duel. On the African Savanna, where every second can mean the difference between life and death, communication is a weapon as powerful as horns or speed. Many herbivores have developed sophisticated alarm systems, capable of turning a simple sound or gesture into a collective survival signal. It is not a verbal language, but a universal one, made of sounds, movements, and even smells. The impala is perhaps the most notable example. When it detects a predator, it emits a shrill call that can be heard for hundreds of yards. This sound acts as an alarm siren. Often, a single shout is enough for the entire plain to be alerted and for the entire herd to begin a synchronized escape. In addition, the impala uses high leaps known as stotting, which, besides making the pursuit difficult, are a clear visual warning. The wildebeest, on the other hand, relies on deep vocalizations, almost like low roars that echo across the savannah. When they emit these sounds, they not only organize the collective movement of the herd, but also signal the threat. The reaction is immediate. Thousands of individuals line up and start running in a block, creating a moving wall of bodies. Even the warthog participates in this symphony of survival. Despite its robust and less discreet appearance, it emits shrill squeals when it perceives danger. But it is not just the large mammals that take on the role of sentinels. The giraffe, the tallest creature on Earth, is a notable example. Although its height allows it to detect predators from miles away, its young are an easy target for lions and hyenas. To protect them, the mothers use the greatest weapon they have, their hind legs. A single kick can kill a predator in seconds. In addition, the giraffes often gather, creating small natural nurseries where several mothers watch over the young together. The hippopotamus, although it spends most of its time submerged in water, is no less protective. Its young, which can swim shortly after birth, remain close to their mother, not allowed to stray more than a few feet. The eyes and nostrils, located on the top of the head, ensure constant vigilance even when almost the entire body is hidden underwater. If a crocodile approaches, the reaction is immediate. The mother attacks with bites that can break even wooden boats. In groups, the hippos form a true wall of water around their young, preventing any approach. There are records of hunters who, after a failed attack, have carried the scars forever, painful memories of the audacity of facing these giants. For a lion, a serious injury is not just pain, it is a death sentence. A weakened hunter cannot keep up with the pride, cannot hunt, cannot survive. However, the lions persist. Hunger drives them to face this risk. The buffalo is a valuable prize. Its meat can feed the whole pride for days. The confrontation between lion and buffalo rarely has a... Many times, the outcome is a brutal stalemate. The lion wounded, the buffalo marked, but both still standing. Other times, the collective strength of the herd repels the attack. But there are moments when the feline strategy triumphs, when unity and patience lead to a perfect ambush. And then the roar of victory echoes through the grass, a reminder that on the savannah, hunger does not forgive hesitation. This duel is not just a battle between species. It symbolizes the essence of the savannah, a place where strength does not guarantee victory and cunning does not ensure success. Here, every battle is a lesson in risk and courage, where survival depends as much on the audacity to attack as on the determination to resist. The lion may be the king, but in front of the buffalo, even the king must bow to the unpredictability of nature. The African savanna is one of the most vast and impressive landscapes on the planet. It stretches like a golden carpet from Kenya to Botswana, an endless sea of tall grass that dances to the rhythm of the wind. At first glance, the landscape may seem open and simple, but it is actually a natural theatre where every detail plays a role in the great drama of survival. Here there are no backstages or curtains. Every creature is always exposed, always in sight. It is an environment of extreme contrasts. During the day, the sun shines like a furnace in the sky, heating the earth until it turns into cracked patches of dry clay. At night, the heat gives way to a biting cold, and darkness covers the plain like a tense, silent veil. The gently moving grass hides patient hunters, golden phantoms awaiting the precise moment to strike. At the same time, it protects the herbivores that depend on this vegetation, not just as food, but also as a wall of camouflage. The vastness of the savanna creates an illusion. It seems infinite, but it is also a trap. For the animals that live there is no real refuge. When a predator pursues its prey, there are no caves to hide in, nor dense forests to disappear into. Every escape is a life or death race. Every movement is exposed under the ruthless light of the Sunday. On this open stage, the strong have nowhere to hide, and the weak are always the first to fall. It is also an ecosystem that vibrates in a delicate balance. Herds of wildebeest, zebras and antelopes cross the plains in search of pastures. The large acacia trees rise like solitary sentinels, offering rare shade and protection from the heat, but also strategic points for ambushes. The open horizon, which seems calm, is actually a strategic chessboard where predators and prey play an endless game. The savanna is more than a place. It is a stage where life unfolds in its most raw and intense form, where every dawn brings new battles. The golden grass is the backdrop for stories that have been repeated for millions of years, reminding us that survival here is not an option, but an inexorable law. On the African savanna, time is not just the passing of days and nights. Here, life is governed by two dominant rhythms, the rainy season and the dry season. When the rainy season arrives, the sky opens up in majestic storms. Lightning streaks across the horizon and the arid earth absorbs every drop of water as if it were liquid gold. In just a few weeks, the desolate landscape transforms into a lush green ocean. The grass grows almost 6 feet tall, flowers bloom in vibrant colors, and the rivers are filled with life. The herds of wildebeest, zebras, and antelopes spread out across the plains, feasting. The herbivores flourish, and soon thousands of clumsy young run in the open field, celebrating the generosity of nature. But this same abundance awakens the predators. Lions, cheetahs, leopards, and spotted hyenas take advantage of the profusion of young, vulnerable prey. The tall grass provides the perfect camouflage for the ambush, and every step of the herbivores is watched by keen eyes. During the rainy season, life flourishes in excess, but death also lurks in silence, ready to balance the cycle. Then, almost without warning, the cycle reverses. The dry season arrives like a fiery blade. The blue sky becomes relentless and the sun scorches the earth. The lush green grass disappears, replaced by a yellow, brittle carpet that crumbles under the hooves of the animals. The rivers shrink until they are nothing more than shallow pools, where every drop of water is desperately contested. The heat can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, while the nights bring a biting cold, a contrast that wears down even the strongest. In the dry season, survival becomes a test of endurance. The herds are forced to travel long distances in search of water and food, facing exhaustion and the constant threat of predators. It is the period in which natural selection shows its harshest face. Only those who can endure the long journey have a chance of seeing the rain return. The cycle of the seasons is the heart of the savanna. It dictates every behavior, every adaptation, and every strategy of hunting or escape. The old queen is dead. Now the greatest hunter takes the throne. She leads the kingdom's most brutal army, Ayumi. But the kingdom will test the new queen. Many would kill for the great marsh. Ayumi's daughters have a direct line to the throne. She must turn them into warriors. She is a mother and a commander. Your daughter shows much promise. She has talents your sons do not. She will be your heir. But leadership is not just about killing. Ayumi the provider must keep this unruly gang together and appease her brutal king Sakamai. No one can challenge him, least of all his sons. Even Ayumi must bow. Hidden in the ochre-tinted waters of the Geltas, the last crocodiles of Enadi breathe slowly and wait. They are not large nor fierce, but they are living proof of a Sahara that was once green. But now what remains is a small lagoon shrinking with the heat with time and with the changing climate itself. The air temperature exceeds 113 degrees Fahrenheit, while the average annual rainfall is a mere 2 inches. The crocodiles here are isolated, making them vulnerable to change and more susceptible to extinction. And they are not alone. Dozens of other species are adjusting their rhythms of life to survive amidst the aridity and the heat. As the wind blows through the ancient rock crevices, it sounds like a whisper of time. Beneath that apparent stillness, a shadow begins to move. It is the striped hyena. The striped hyena has a slender body with an ash-gray coat and distinct black stripes, serving as both perfect camouflage under the moonlight and a warning signal to enemies. The mane on its back can be erected, making its body appear up to 40% larger, creating a formidable impression in situations of threat or competition. Unlike the spotted hyena, it is solitary or lives in pairs, and sometimes in small groups of no more than 7 individuals. The striped hyena is an adaptable and opportunistic species. It can follow the faintest trail of blood, find an unfortunate carcass, and crush bone, claw, and skin with its powerful jaws. But when carrion is scarce, the striped hyena does not hesitate to become a hunter. Following in the footsteps of the creature known as the thief of the night, a snake with a peculiar pair of horns on its head appears burying itself beneath the scorching sand. It is none other than the Saharan horned viper, a silent killer in the heart of the desert. With a modest length of only 12 to 24 inches, the Saharan horned viper possesses a compact but extremely agile and deadly body. Its skin with a characteristic pattern allows it to almost completely disappear amidst the sand and rock. The most prominent feature is the 2 small horns above its eyes, which help reduce direct sunlight and make it look like an inanimate part of the environment. The snake moves using a side-winding technique, sliding sideways across the hot sand, which helps reduce friction and conserve energy. It is a natural ambusher, burying itself under the sand and waiting for prey to come near to launch a lightning-fast strike. Have you ever wondered why some desert snakes don't slither straight ahead but move in this peculiar side-winding fashion? This is not a dance, but a masterpiece of physics and survival. When sidewinding, the snake has only 2 points of its body in contact with the scorching hot sand at any given moment. This minimizes the risk of being burned on the desert surface, which can reach up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. At the same time, this technique creates an effective thrust on the loose sand, allowing it to move quickly without slipping. It is like a master skier, but on a sea of sand. Sometimes the straightest path is not the most effective. To overcome the harshest challenges, we must learn to move differently, to adapt, and to find unexpected ways forward. Like the desert snake, sometimes we must sidewind through our difficulties, instead of confronting them head-on, only to realize that flexibility is the ultimate strength. From the silent movements of the killer in the sand, the journey of survival now leads us to the refuge of a small but incredible creature. It is the rock hyrax, an animal with a surprisingly close relationship to the elephant. Beneath its sandy grey fur is a body specially adapted to conquer rocky terrain and steep slopes. Its soft feet are covered with a sticky, rubber-like padding, allowing it to grip firmly onto near-vertical surfaces. Each morning, the rock hyrax emerges onto the ledges to bask in the sun, absorbing heat to raise its body temperature as it has poor thermoregulation. Each individual rarely strays more than 164 feet from its shelter, and there is always a sentinel on high, vigilant for predators from the sky like eagles or from the ground like the caracal. Though small, the rock hyrax plays an essential role in the food chain. It is a crucial prey for many predators and actively contributes to the decomposition and regeneration of vegetation. Where the snakes bury themselves under the hot sand and the hyraxes sunbathe on the cliffs, there is always an eye watching from the shadows. It is the caracal, a formidable predator with a compact and agile body. Its deep reddish gold coat blends perfectly with the desert terrain. But what truly defines this species are its erect ears tipped with long black tufts like ancient palms, forming one of the most sophisticated biological directional systems in the cat family. The caracal can detect the sound of a mouse at a distance of 164 feet, or sense the faint wing beats of disoriented migratory birds. When the moment comes, it leaps up to 10 feet into the air, then brings down its prey with a direct bite to the throat or the nape of the neck, paralyzing it instantly. In the biological chain, the caracal acts as a regulator of mid-level prey. It controls the overgrowth of rodent populations and maintains the balance of hyrax and granivorous bird populations. When the predators have retreated into the shade of the rocks, one species remains high above. It does not belong to the earth, not bound by the boundaries of rock or sand. It observes every movement in silence from a height of nearly 1,600 feet. In an arid world where life is always fragile, the white-backed vulture is the final link in the biological cycle. Its eyes can spot a small carcass from a distance of over 2 miles. When an animal falls, that biological signal quickly spreads across the sky through a chain reaction among different vultures. In just a few minutes, from a single point of death on the ground, the sky fills with wings. And as the white-backed vulture descends in a spiral from on high, the ground gently trembles under the heavy beat of their wings like drums, heralding a ceremony of rebirth in the desert. The digestive system of the white-backed vulture is extremely acidic, allowing it to digest infected tissues without contracting diseases. The presence of this species acts as an invisible shield, preventing dangerous biological outbreaks. And as the last wings of the white-backed vultures disappear behind the edge of the red rock, a smaller, whiter silhouette with black-tipped wings like brushstrokes glides gently through the remaining layers of hot air. Massive, violent, unpredictable. All hail the king. The Great Marsh, Ayumi's legacy. Control these waters, and you control everything. Many want to take it from you, Ayumi. To keep it, you had better build your pride. Armies and assassins are gathering strength, massing outside the marsh. Only the king can stop these threats. But his empire is vast, and Sakamai, must protect it all. While he guards the south with his brother, the north is left vulnerable. The rebels grow bold. They know the king is away. Hyenas infect the kingdom like a plague. Where there is one, there will soon be many. War is coming. The Great Marsh is the glory of the kingdom. There is so much to gain and so much to lose. Let them play a little longer. They know nothing of the game to come. Ayumi's children must grow up fast. Soon they will have to fight for their marsh. The Egyptian vulture. One name, three worlds, myth, biology, and instinct. A descendant of an ancient evolutionary line of Old World vultures, the Egyptian vulture carries in its genes the instincts of species that existed more than 500,000 years ago. It is not the strongest in the sky, but it is one of the wisest. The Egyptian vulture often waits until the larger vultures have begun their feast. Then each individual descends in silence, approaching and carefully picking at the most nutritious soft tissue parts. It is no coincidence that the ancient Egyptians depicted it on stone walls, worshipping it as a symbol of Ma'at, order and truth. Because even in its way of feeding, everything is done with a precise logic and a respect for the natural order. Following the giant sandstone massifs deeper into the heart of Enedi, a completely different world is revealed. The relict oasis, forest fragments of an ancient forest that persist right in the center of the arid and harsh Sahara. In the current climatic context, the isolated presence of forests in the middle of the desert is an extremely rare ecological phenomenon. They not only represent the last refuge for many endemic species, but also play a crucial role in conserving biodiversity. One of the most prominent features of this ecosystem is the Bachikele Gorge, known locally as Bashi. At the bottom of the gorge, hundreds of feet deep, grow trees up to 65 feet tall with dense year-round green canopies, characteristic of the tropical forests of equatorial Africa. The Bachikele Gorge possesses a unique microclimate thanks to its vertical cliffs that provide constant shade and ancient underground springs. The average temperature at the bottom of the gorge is 10 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit lower than the surrounding desert. The Bidyat believe that the spirits of their ancestors still live in those waters and will continue to protect their descendants from thirst and from getting lost. Each year, the local people come here to worship their ancestors, offer sacrifices, and pray for the protection of their camel herds. Besides its cultural value, this place is also the last refuge for many animal species. On the arid ancestral rock and amidst the ruins of the still existing forest, there is a species that does not hide or camouflage. It presents itself as a vibrant part of the landscape, noisy, organized, and incredibly adapted. Amidst the vertical rock corridors on the banks of underground streams and cool microhabitats, groups of olive baboons gather in troops. The males can weigh up to 70 pounds and be nearly 4 feet long, including the tail. Their olive-grey fur allows them to easily blend in with the sand and rock of the region. They live in large groups called troops without a fixed dominant leader, but with a flexible social system based on hierarchy, kinship, and experience. They dig for roots, and tubers eat fallen fruits, tough leaves, and even small insects. When conditions permit, they also hunt. Some hunts are simple and quick, like chasing a bird or a lizard. But when food is severely scarce, they cooperate to hunt larger prey. When foraging, they disperse the seeds of many native plants through their feces. Each step, each movement is not just a search for food, but also opens up the possibility of survival for an entire micro-ecosystem. They soften the soil, clear paths, and sometimes become prey for larger predators, maintaining the integrity of the ecological chain. Distant roars echo on the wind. Rivals stalk the hills and forests to the north. The tattered queen of the north. She leads a small but ambitious pride. They too would kill for the marsh. They terrorize and plunder all who cross their path. The kingdom pits enemy against enemy on all fronts. Only the strongest can hold the marsh. Ayumi needs more soldiers. More teeth, more claws. It is time to mate. This is Sakamai's sacred rite. Do not get too close. Your father knows no mercy. Ayumi belongs only to the king. Sakamai gives no second chances. But Ayumi needs his services whatever the cost. Just keep him away from the pride. He is beyond their help. Sleep well, little prince. The king is appeased. His duty is done. Ayumi returns to an unsettled pride. Never leave them again. The price for Sakamai's service is paid in blood. When the shadow of the olive baboon disappears among the low bushes, it gives way to another silhouette that appears in silence. It is the Barbary sheep. Its robust body can weigh up to 320 pounds with a length of nearly 5 feet. Its sandy-colored coat with brown tones allows it to camouflage, acting as a suit of armor against the scorching heat and the watchful eyes of predators. And then there is the pair of scimitar-shaped horns, which can be up to 30 inches long, used for fighting or self-defense. When the Barbary sheep moves, it breaks up the surface soil, allowing water to penetrate deeper. It disperses seeds through its feces, helping to preserve native plant species that prevent erosion. In the arid Sahara Desert, where the sun scorches every grain of sand, there still exist freshwater oases known locally as Geltas. They are special freshwater pools, which can be small lagoons, underground springs, or semi-permanent streams. The most iconic and famous of the Geltas of the Enedi Plateau in Chad is the Guelta d'Arche. Ecologically, the Geltas are not just water sources. They are biological nodes that connect flora and fauna that seem impossible to exist in the Sahara. In addition, it is a frequent stopover for dozens of migratory bird species from Europe and Asia, especially in the early months of the year. An ancient legend tells that if someone accidentally finds a pearl at the bottom of the Gelta, an extremely rare phenomenon, that person has been blessed by the ancestors. For the Array people, every drop of water from the Gelta is a part of the Earth's soul. Many believe that dreams can be guided if one sleeps near the Gelta on a full moon night. The Gelta is not just a pool of water in the middle of the desert, but a place where every drop of water carries the memory of creation. And it is here that an extraordinary aquatic community has continued to exist in silence for millennia. Small groups of tilapia, such as Tilapia zillii or rare killifish species, can be found that only survive in extremely harsh conditions. But the most prominent and ancient is the Senegal bichir Polypterus senegalis, a fish that can breathe air thanks to its primitive lungs. They are not just the last residents of the Gelta, but also witnesses of a distant, wetter era, carrying within them the memory of the ancient rivers that once flowed through the Sahara. Amidst the dark cliffs where the scorching sun leaves no shade, a crocodile glides through the stagnant water in a deep ravine. There are no rivers here, no trace of forests and no wet grasslands, but miraculously they are still present and exist with an incredible tenacity. Today, fewer than 10 West African crocodiles remain scattered in the deep pools of the Anedi region. What is left is not just a population, but the last relic of an evolutionary branch that once covered the entire continent. They are over 13 feet long, weigh up to 1,540 pounds, with a dark skin covered in hard armor-like scales and a jaw containing nearly 70 conical teeth. But the most fearsome thing is not its strength, but the way it waits. A cold immobility, a survival strategy that expends not a single drop of energy until the final moment. In the Gelta, where food is scarce, the West African crocodile maintains its own biological order. It hides under the murky water, revealing only its eyes and nostrils. When a fish, a bird, or a small animal comes near the bank, it launches a lightning-fast attack. Everything happens in a single snap and a death roll, paralyzing the prey in seconds. By hunting weak, sick, or surplus prey, they keep the populations of fish and other aquatic creatures in balance. Their feces nourish the microorganisms at the bottom, supporting a closed material cycle in the Geltas ecosystem. Even the carcasses they leave behind become a resource for scavenger birds, insects, and even the algae at the bottom. However, what makes this crocodile population so precious is not just its ecological role or its evolutionary morphology, but its isolation. For the local people, these crocodiles are not a threat, but sacred entities, symbols of protection and good fortune. For centuries, the inhabitants of Enedi have believed that the crocodiles are the spirits of the water, a sign of an underground life that still beats beneath the desert. As the last rays of the sun disappear over the sandstone cliffs of the Gelta d'Arche, the residual heat still radiates from the cracked earth. Farther south, where the savannah only revives during the rainy season and then sinks back into sleep under a layer of red dust, a slow rhythm of life turns into silence. This is the landscape of the seasonal grasslands and the nomadic life of Enedi, a land not for the faint of heart, but one that nurtures the most resilient creatures of the Sahara. On an arid and barren land, wild creatures appear and disappear under the sun like mirages. It is the North African ostrich, which can be up to 9 feet tall and weigh over 310 pounds. But it can still run at a speed of 43 miles per hour if it needs to escape. Unlike its relatives to the south, this species only exists in small groups in Enedy. And in a place where animals have to struggle every day to survive, humans are not exempt from this competition. The Bidyat, a nomadic community scattered across this barren land, understand better than anyone the precariousness of nature. All their possessions are loaded onto camels, moving constantly in search of grass and water, two things more precious than any metal in the Sahara. In the collective memory, the ancestors of the Bidyat were warriors on horseback, returning from battle with animals captured from the enemy, a way to show strength and status. According to legend, inside those caves are the spirits of the rock who guard everything and punish those who dare to desecrate this place. Along the red dust corridors and the seasonal grasslands, the silhouette of a creature both familiar and mysterious appears. The dromedary camel is a single-humped animal associated with the desert landscape, carrying within it a story of survival that goes beyond imagination. This journey began millions of years ago, when the ancestors of the genus Camelus left North America, crossed the icy Beringia, passed through the Eurasian steppes, and evolved into the one-humped species. The dromedary camel appeared between 1 and 3 million years ago. Domesticated by humans on the Arabian Peninsula more than 4,000 years ago, it has followed trade caravans for thousands of miles across the Sahara Desert. Scorching hot days, bone-chilling nights, winds that carry no water. The dromedary camel does not just survive, it is adapted to dominate. It can lose up to 25% of its body water without dying, something that would kill most animals. Its oval red blood cells allow blood to circulate easily, even when the body is dehydrated. Its hump, which contains fat, not water, as many believe, is an energy reserve that can sustain it for weeks without food. But its real talent lies in migration. Nomadic migratory behavior is the key to its survival in this harsh land. Each dromedary camel herd led by a dominant male travels over 30 miles a day. With strong teeth, they pluck thorny leaves without bleeding. Its three-chambered stomach digests poisonous plants that other animals avoid. In Enedi, the dromedary camel becomes an architect of the ecosystem. With its migration, it disperses seeds through its feces. With its selective grazing, it avoids damaging plant roots. It is part of a cycle of life between aridity and hope. However, the dromedary camel no longer exists in a completely wild state. For 2,000 years, it has only existed as a domestic animal or in feral populations outside its native habitat. This paradox raises a great question to survive. Did the dromedary camel have to become more a part of humanity than of nature? Along with the journey of the dromedary camel, there is another creature that once reigned over these lands with a steadfast silence and an absolute endurance. They call it the spirit of the desert. In a body about 3 feet tall and weighing 220 pounds exists a strange biological machine designed for temperatures up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, where water is a luxury. Its cream-white coat acts as a natural heat-reflecting mirror, reducing the absorption of the sun's rays. During the Saharan winter, its coat turns grey, blending into the arid landscape. It can live for months without drinking a single drop of water. Every blade of grass, every drop of dew, all are sources of life. A stomach divided into compartments, kidneys highly efficient at retaining water, and restricted sweat glands. The addax once traveled hundreds of miles, following the rains like travelers without maps. Herds of hundreds, even thousands, are now only a memory. Currently, only small groups of 5 to 15 individuals remain gliding in silence like ghosts in a sea of sand. The most experienced individuals take the lead, remembering ancient paths, unburnt patches of grass, and waterholes that only appear once every few years. It chooses a strategy of hiding, waiting, avoiding conflict. During the day, it digs burrows in the sand to escape the scorching sunday. At night, when the desert temperature drops sharply, it begins to move, taking advantage of the darkness to feed. There was a time when it was thought that the addax had disappeared from nature, but no. In 2023, amidst the ancient rock formations of Enedi, 10 individuals were reintroduced from breeding centers. It was a rebirth, and it reinforces the belief that what God has created will never be forgotten. The footsteps of the addax fade away, and the journey brings us to the smallest fox on the planet. It is the tiny fennec fox, with a length of only 16 inches and a weight of less than 3 pounds. But do not let its appearance fool you. Its ears, up to 6 inches long, are its ultimate weapon. They not only help to dissipate heat, but also act as a biological radar capable of picking up the sounds of mice, insects, or lizards moving under the sand. It does not stalk like a cat, nor does it need the speed of a canid. The fennec fox's hunting strategy combines extremely sensitive hearing, quick reflexes, and an incredible ability to dig in the sand. It does not need to drink water. It gets its moisture directly from its prey and from fruits. From the dunes of Morocco to the dry steppes of Sudan, the fennec fox has evolved over tens of thousands of years to adapt to one of the most extreme environments on the planet. On that journey, it plays a fundamental role in controlling the populations of rodents and insects, and in turn, it is the natural prey of predators like jackals, hyenas, or large owls. The first ray of sunlight glides over the red cliffs, and a winged shadow soars from a lonely peak. The tawny eagle, the lord of the aerial silence in the land of the rock desert. It was not born to hide like the fox, nor to wait for the night like the owl. The tawny eagle is the daylight with deadly precision, with a wingspan of up to 6.5 feet, a robust body of nearly 7 pounds, and a vision capable of detecting the movement of a small lizard from hundreds of feet away. From tens of thousands of years ago, this eagle has evolved to dominate the lands scorched by the sunday. Sometimes it dives from a height of 330 feet, swooping fast and catching its prey, a hare, a snake, a terrestrial bird, or even a newborn gazelle just taking its first steps. Sometimes it waits for hours on a dry tree to surprise an unsuspecting victim. The behavior of the tawny eagle changes with the seasons. When the rains come and the grass turns green again, the young are born. The nest is built on tall, solitary trees amidst the arid plains where the wind cannot reach the eggs. During the long dry season, it flies further, sometimes hundreds of miles a day, in search of the last patches of life. It does not always hunt alone. A mature pair can coordinate to take down larger prey, attacking from two directions to corner the target in a place with no escape. Thanks to its diet, it regulates the density of rodents, terrestrial birds and snakes, contributing to the balance of the entire ecosystem. And when it eats carrion, it not only sustains its own life, but also cleans the environment and prevents disease outbreaks.
On every continent, in every habitat, from the searing desert to the frozen pole, there is a pulse of life that wears feathers. They are the birds, and in their story we find the story of life itself. Across the globe, over 10,000 species of bird, each a unique masterpiece of evolution. Their vibrant plumage is not merely for flight. It is a living spectacle, a tool to captivate a mate. In the wild, the common redstart is one of the most handsome a member of the flycatcher family. They can be found across Europe and Africa. Their defining feature is a tail of brilliant orange and red. The male has a slate-grey upper body, a black face and wings, with a chest and rump of fiery orange. Measuring just under 5 inches in length, they feed mainly on insects and other invertebrates. When winter arrives, they migrate from Europe to the western regions of Africa, appearing in countries from Denmark to Egypt, Ghana and Morocco. Their nests are often built in tree cavities or stone walls at a height of around 20 feet. In the wild, their average lifespan is only about 2 years. The European robin, one of the most celebrated songbirds, they are small with light brown plumage distinguished by their characteristic red breast. This bird is common throughout Europe, especially Western Europe, and can also be seen in Asia and parts of Northwest Africa, inhabiting forests, gardens and urban areas. About 5.5 inches long, with a wingspan of 8 to 9 inches, the robin has large dark eyes and tapered wings that allow for swift, agile flight. Their preferred diet consists of insects, spiders, and worms. They also consume berries and seeds, playing a vital role in seed dispersal within the ecosystem. In Lebanon and across the Arab world, the robin is an inspiration to poets and writers, a symbol of love and loyalty. Its sweet and varied song is used to communicate with a partner during the mating season. Their calls echo through the countryside, in parks and near water sources. In spring, the male sings to entice a female. Together, they build a simple nest, adorned with twigs and dry leaves, and share the duty of incubating the eggs for about 12 days. The robin's nest is a work of delicate artistry. They select secure locations using leaves, twigs, and other materials to create a sturdy and beautiful home. The red-legged honeycreeper, a member of the tanager family, stands out with its large, colourful bill and vibrant plumage. This bird inhabits Mexico, Trinidad, Cuba, and Central and South America. They are about 4 inches long and weigh less than half an ounce, with a long, curved black bill. The male is a startling violet blue with a black tail, wings and throat, and bright red legs. The female has greenish upperparts and a pale orange throat. Their diet is varied, including fruits like berries and cherries, as well as insects, spiders, and occasionally small animals such as mice. The green-headed tanager is a stunning bird with brilliant green plumage. They inhabit tropical forests from South America to Central America. These dense, humid forests provide them with abundant food and shelter. They feed on fruits, insects, and nectar, thereby helping to pollinate flowers. This species measures about 6 inches in length and weighs just under an ounce. Both males and females are similar in appearance, with a magnificent green head. The European goldfinch is one of the planet's most beautiful small birds. Its deep red face is like a splash of paint against pristine white cheeks. Black wings flecked with brilliant gold shine as they catch the sun in flight. Its body is just 4 to 5 inches long, weighing a mere 1/3 to 2/3 of an ounce. Though small, they are filled with a fierce vitality, constantly on the move. Their song is clear, delicate, and carries far through the trees. That music is both a gift to the countryside and a declaration of territory. They often inhabit grasslands, forest edges, gardens, and wetlands. Their favorite food sources are thistle and teasel seeds. With their sharp beaks, they easily crack open tough seeds that many other species must abandon. During the breeding season, the male's plumage becomes even more vibrant. They choose dense bushes or low branches to build a secure nest. The nest is skillfully woven from dry grass, moss, and fine plant fibers. Each clutch typically contains 4 to 6 pale eggs speckled with tiny brown dots. The female handles incubation, while the male takes turns bringing food. In winter, they gather in flocks that can number in the hundreds. These flocks twist and turn like living ribbons of colour against the sky. Their migration can take them from Britain to Spain to escape the cold. The arrival of the goldfinch brings the fields to life with a flash of brilliance. They are a symbol of wild beauty, freedom, and the resilience of nature. The bluethroat, also known as the northern nightingale, is a stunning songbird with a unique voice and striking appearance. The male's throat and breast are adorned with a vibrant blue patch bordered by a ring of burnt orange. Its back and wings are a greyish-brown, helping it blend skillfully among dry branches and fallen leaves. Above the eye is a fine white stripe, like a delicate brushstroke of nature. They are widely distributed across Europe and Asia, as well as northern Africa, but are absent from desert regions. They favour tundra and wetlands, such as marshes and streamsides, but can also inhabit areas above 6,500 feet. Their diet consists mainly of insects like caterpillars, beetles, and dragonflies. Occasionally, they will also eat small snails, earthworms, seeds, and berries. The male often chooses a low treetop or bush from which to sing, both to attract a mate and to defend his territory. Their nests are usually well camouflaged in grass or among reeds. The female lays 4 to 7 pale blue eggs with brown spots. After about 14 days of incubation, the chicks hatch and leave the nest after another 15 days, but remain under their parents' care for more than a week and a half. The northern cardinal, or redbird, is one of the most beautiful wild birds in the world, common in North America. They have a friendly relationship with humans and can recognize human voices. It is a shy and non-aggressive bird. The more brilliant the male's red plumage, the more successful he is at attracting a female. This bird is the state symbol for 7 US states, including Indiana and Ohio. In the spring, they often attack their own reflections in windows, a fierce act of territorial defense. Northern cardinals do not migrate. They live year-round within their range, active during the day, especially in the morning and evening. In winter, they forage in large flocks, feeding mainly on grass, seeds, corn, fruits, and insects. Their total population is currently around 100 million individuals, and they are classified as a species of least concern on the IUCN Red List. Despite their bright red colour, year-round spotting them can be difficult, as they prefer dense thickets where branches obscure their vibrant feathers. The male brings seeds to his mate while she is incubating the eggs. The female also sings from the nest, possibly as a signal for the male to bring back food. The golden-collared manakin, Manicus vitellinus, is one of Central America's most brilliant tropical birds. Its golden plumage on the neck and breast stands out against a glossy black back wings and head, creating a powerful contrast. Bright red legs add to its splendor amidst the green forest canopy. They live mainly in Panama and Costa Rica, favoring humid tropical forests. During the breeding season, the male's only role is to attract a mate. All responsibility for incubating the eggs and raising the young falls to the female. The nest is built on a low branch, skillfully crafted from dry leaves, roots, and plant fibers. The black-breasted manakin longtura bicolor, a small bird of the Estreldidae family, is easily recognized by its black mask that extends down to its breast in a prominent band. Its plumage is a harmonious blend of golden brown on the back and wings white on the belly and a conical blue-grey bill used for cracking seeds. Its body is only about 4 inches long, weighing less than half an ounce, yet it is incredibly agile and active. The turtle dove is a widely known migratory pigeon, especially familiar to hunters due to its large numbers during migration. They have a characteristic purplish-brown colour with a black and white striped patch on the side of the neck. This bird is widely distributed across most of Europe, Russia and China, as well as North Africa and the Middle East. It prefers dry, sunny areas and generally avoids urban environments. The turtle dove often migrates in large numbers to southern regions along the African coast and is frequently seen foraging on the ground. The cuckoo is known as the master of deception in the bird kingdom. It is a medium-sized bird, about 13 inches long. They migrate to Europe and Asia in the summer and Africa in the winter, possessing a loud and very distinctive call. Their most famous behavior is their cruel parasitism, meaning they do not raise their own young but lay their eggs in the nests of other bird species. The cuckoo chick, after hatching, will push the host bird's eggs out of the nest so that it can be raised alone by the foster parents. The female cuckoo does not choose a nest at random. She observes carefully, selects a suitable nest, and quickly lays her egg in it when the owner is away. The cuckoo is a polygamous species, and its breeding season runs from April to September each year. Their diet consists mainly of insects, especially larvae and fruits. Some species also consume frogs and small mammals. The heron is a bird similar to a stork, with 64 different species varying in size and colour. They are found on every continent except Antarctica. They prefer wetlands, marshes, and areas near rivers, ponds, and lakes. Water pollution and habitat loss are the main threats they face. The heron's diet is diverse, consisting mainly of fish, but also includes frogs, reptiles, insects, and rodents. Herons build their nests in trees or on steep slopes to avoid predators. Both the male and female participate in nest building, a task that can take several weeks. Each year the heron chooses a new mate. Their breeding season is in May, marked by the noisy calls of both adults and young. The young must remain in the nest for another 6 to 7 weeks. Both parents care for their offspring. Herons can live for 15 years in the wild and 25 years in captivity. The pelican is a large water bird. They have a long, straight bill with a distensible pouch underneath, used for hunting. There are 8 surviving species of pelican on our planet, all of which are aquatic carnivores, feeding mainly on fish. With their webbed feet, they are excellent swimmers and gliders, but are rather clumsy when walking on land. The pouch under the bill is not just for catching fish and draining water. It is also used in mating displays and for regulating body temperature. Pelicans are found on all continents except Antarctica. DNA studies have divided them into 3 main branches. All pelican species eat fish hunting either alone or in groups. They scoop fish into their bills, then drain the water out before swallowing their prey. They can also dive rapidly into the water to catch prey while having to be wary of gulls trying to steal fish from their beaks. Pelicans are social creatures nesting in colonies that can sometimes number in the thousands of pairs. The largest species are the great white pelican, the American white pelican, and the Australian pelican. The flamingo is one of the most recognizable water birds in the world, with its pale pink plumage, long stick-like legs, and curved neck. Their pink color comes from the beta-carotene in the food they eat, primarily algae and brine shrimp. This beautiful bird can live from 20 to 30 years in the wild and sometimes forms flocks of thousands. The word flamengo originates from the Spanish word flamenco, which may refer to the synchronized movements of the flock. Flamingos live in tropical climates from Africa to the Americas, in habitats such as lakes, lagoons, and mangrove swamps. They use their curved beaks to filter food from water and mud. Their spiny tongue acts like a piston, helping to suck in water filled with food. Filter plates inside the beak retain the food and expel the water, while also removing food particles that are too large or too small. The white-capped waves endlessly crashed against the rocky shore.
From the very first heartbeats to the trembling steps touching the earth,
their presence makes any land deep blue and mist. The cassowary is a flightless bird native to Australia, New Guinea, and Indonesia. They are among the largest and most striking of all birds. They can stand between 3 and 7 feet tall and weigh up to 150 pounds, making them one of the world's largest flightless birds. With powerful legs and sharp claws, they can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour for defense and attack. Despite their formidable appearance, cassowaries are not truly dangerous unless provoked or they feel threatened. They are solitary birds, preferring to be alone rather than in flocks, and communicate with each other through both visual and auditory signals. Their diet consists mainly of fruits, seeds and insects, but they may also eat small animals and reptiles. They breed in the winter and spring. The female lays 4 to 6 green eggs in a shallow nest on the ground and incubates them herself for about 47 days. The great egret Ardea alba is a graceful water bird of the heron family, distinguished by its immaculate white plumage. It has a slender yet tall body, a long neck curved into a characteristic shape, and delicate legs, perfectly adapted for wading. Its bill is straight sharp and a vibrant yellow, serving as a formidable weapon for hunting. This egret typically moves slowly, patiently stalking its prey before striking with lightning speed. It prefers to live in marshes, lakes, rivers, canals, and coastal areas where food is abundant. Its diet consists mainly of fish, frogs, insects, and sometimes small snakes. The white plumage makes it stand out against the green of the reeds, but it also reflects sunlight, blurring its outline when standing motionless while hunting. The great egret is capable of long-distance flight, with a wide wingspan and a straight flying posture, its neck extended forward. When foraging, they are often solitary, but may gather in groups where fish are plentiful. Their call is a hoarse and resonant croak, often heard as they fly overhead. The species is distributed across all continents, particularly common in tropical and subtropical regions. It is also a symbol of elegance and peace in many cultures. The African jacana appears as a graceful dancer of the waterways, affectionately known by some as the lily trotter. With slender yet oversized legs and delicate toes like suspension bridges, it glides deftly across floating carpets of water, hyacinth and lilies without causing a ripple. This is not just a captivating performance, but an evolutionary masterpiece, allowing the jacana to conquer shallow food-rich waters that few other species can reach. Under the brilliant sun, its shimmering brown plumage stands out against the lush green of aquatic leaves, painting a vivid picture amidst the marshland. Each step is a delicate fusion of fragility and hidden strength, as if writing an epic of nature's wondrous adaptability. And wherever the jacana appears, the water's surface seems to take on an irresistible calm and elegance. The white-capped waves endlessly crashed against the rocky shore, singing the eternal song of the ocean. The salty sea breeze whipped against my face, carrying the pristine breath of the untamed land. Their presence makes any land deep blue and mysterious, like an unexplored world. Flocks of seabirds circled overhead like living arrows piercing the sky. The deserted sandbank bore the footprints of lone travelers, then quickly washed away by the tide. The vibrant flash of a tanager, the impossible dance of a mannequin, the defiant song of a robin in the cold, these are not just fleeting moments of beauty. They are the vital signs of a healthy planet. Their world is woven into the fabric of our own. And the great question that remains is whether we will continue to be worthy of their song.